Whoop-pow!
All right. I'm excited to be back.
Yeah. Fun
Welcome.
times, man.
Yes, it is. Welcome to the next episode of Those Two Dads, where we talk all things dadpreneur. So I'm Kyle. This is Josh.
Yo.
And like I said, I'm stoked to be back. I'm excited to have another episode, man. I was feeling the drought.
Feeling the itch.
Yeah, which really it's not a drought. It's just our normal cadence. But
Right.
Anyway, we are with a buddy of mine, Russ Gall, a.k.a. Build Big Money One on Twitter. So he's joining our podcast today to go behind the scenes with top Twitter account here, guys. So he'll share his personal journey, aha moments, the secrets to growing an impactful Twitter account. You might even remember from a few episodes back when we had YTK on, Young Toy King. His interview, he talked about Russ. And these guys launched a product since that episode. So we're going to get into that too. Twitter Business Blueprint. So Russ is helping others learn how they can build an online business with Twitter, and doing so while, you guessed it, being a dad.
Yep.
So before we get going, go ahead and hit the hearts. Drop a hashtag live if you're with us live on Facebook. If you're live with us on YouTube streams, hit that hashtag or drop a hashtag live. I can spit it out.
Come on.
Yeah. Hashtag replay if you catch it later. Be sure to tag your favorite dad or mompreneur. Share these episodes. We love helping people and sharing with others. This is a journey. We're trying to create a community, man, where we can continue to help others while they're building their online side hustles or whatever it is they're trying to do.
Absolutely.
So without further ado, let's jump into this, man.
All right. What's going on, Russ?
Hey, Josh. Hey, Kyle. How you guys doing?
What's up, man? Thanks for being with us.
Honored to be on here. Thank you very much. Some of you, I'm not quite like some of the big guys you have on here, but I'll take it.
Hey, we don't judge big, small, just starting out. That's the whole idea is, we want to bring people on that we know can provide value to their audience, our audience. There's always something that people can learn from anybody. Doesn't matter if you're in your first week, your first year, your first decade, or you've been doing it for 30 plus years. It doesn't matter. There's always value there. So we just appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here with us.
The common theme with us, man, and who we have on the show is we bring on good people people that want to add value to others. And so if you can do that, dude, and we know you.
I mean, speaking of your audience, what do you got on here, Josh? About 60K? You see the numbers? You got 60,000 people watching right about now?
Yeah, something like that.
I figured just under 60.
Yeah,
just under 60,000.
That baseball game going on, I'm sure. That takes a little bit.
I love it.
Maybe one day, right, Josh?
Yep.
Oh, it'll be soon. You watch.
That'll be a day that we'll come back and be like, hey, Russ called it. He called it out right there on that show. But cool. Yeah. So, really, Russ, give us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, that kind of stuff. Tell us about Russ.
Okay. So let's see. So I've just turned 47 years old. I'm a single father of a 16-year-old boy. He's with me most of the time. Now he's mostly school or baseball. That's about it. But
hey, he's driving, man. He's got freedom.
Yep, he's driving. He drives school and baseball. That's about as far as he gets. So.
That's okay. Yeah. Keeps him out of trouble, right?
Yeah. But he's a great kid. He's got straight A's. Baseball. When he's in baseball, he always has better grades. It's really good. So, I also raised 2 stepdaughters that are married and gone, and got the boy. So yeah. Other than that, I manage a roofing and restoration company, a really small company. We do a lot of business. This year, not so much. It just hasn't been as much in the way of hailstorms, but it's a good gig because if I have to go to a baseball game or something, I just do it. I've missed 2 games in my son's sports career, and I regret both of those. Because they weren't worth it. What I got from not being there wasn't worth it. So, but out of all the games that he's ever played, from football, basketball, baseball, I've only missed 2. I'm kind of proud of that. So
You should be.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
I don't
That's a
want to.
streak.
Yeah.
Not going to miss any more either. I mean, you know, he goes to college or whatever. That's different. I might not make it, but so.
Yeah, if he's traveling
That's
around,
the goal, man.
sometime, you know.
People strive to be there.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, that's why I got a great gig going. I can just tell my boss, hey, in fact, once we had a trip going. We had to go to Ventura, California for the Triple Crown World Series when they're in Little League. And I told him the week before we left, oh, I'm going to California next week. He was like, okay, sounds good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Little time freedom out of the day job, man. That's huge.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
that obviously pivots and helps you out with what you got going on Twitter and whatever else you want to do from a side hustle business. And then, of course, the time freedom with your family. That's really what it's ultimately about.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, speaking of which, so Twitter, I'm not on any other social media. I started Twitter like about 16 months ago. It was May of 2020. It wasn't because of COVID, honestly. I mean, we were still busy. I knew that we were going to slow down for the winter. It's pretty seasonal. I started because I started a blog and I decided I needed to start promoting that on Twitter. Realized I'm not good at the blog thing, man. I can't write. I just can't write like that. Twitter's perfect for me, you know. I write a few sentences and I'm good. That's about how I read too, right? So
Consuming short snippets.
yeah, and it's perfect for me. So anyway, I started promoting this blog on Twitter, and then I was like, wait a minute, look at the opportunity just with Twitter. So I just went all in on that, and it's just been great. It's fun. You don't need to spend a ton of time on it every day. You do it the right way, you can grow. It's very nice. So as you guys know.
Yeah, absolutely. And what initially like pulled you into that, right? Like, you know, obviously it was to promote your blog, but what helped you made that shift from trying to promote the blog to then just deciding to be on Twitter and growing on Twitter and doing the marketing and stuff like that?
Mostly I just noticed how much quicker you could make money on Twitter.
Sure.
I knew the blog was really long term as far as, and it potentially could be, you know, quite a bit more money for people to do it right. But I just realized quickly, well, there's potential to make money here. Yeah, it happened. I mean, I didn't make my first sale till I had about 300 followers, I think it was.
And how many followers are you up to now?
Somewhere around 11, a little over 11,000.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But but I didn't think I should be able to. I was like, man, I can't try to sell anything yet. And then one of the guys that I talk to regularly, he's not around much anymore, but he was like, man, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
You think 300 followers is small, but you got to go for it. And so I did. And first sale came, and then it was just like, okay, now I'm hooked, obviously. So,
dude, that first online money, that's addicting.
Yeah, big time.
That's addicting. There's a lesson though, going back just a second, like when you build an audience and they're not used to seeing offers, you're not going to make any sales there either. Like you have to continue to put offers out there so your audience isn't shocked and surprised. So
exactly. I had a call with a guy who has 50 followers yesterday, and I said, start promoting right away, because you don't want to get to 20,000 followers and then all of a sudden throw out some affiliate links or your own product, and people will just be like, whoa, this isn't the same guy. He's never tried to sell anything before. You'll confuse your audience. I think so.
Totally.
No, you're right. And that's something that I think a lot of people miss is, you know, it's no different across the board from marketing's perspective, right? It doesn't matter if you're doing Twitter or YouTube or Facebook or emails. You know, email is a big one that's very similar to the Twitter world. And I'll put it more towards Twitter than others, because on Twitter, you are really, I mean, it's just text and maybe some pictures, right? You're not really, a lot of people don't really go live on Twitter. I mean, I don't even know, does Twitter have a live capability? I don't even think it does. Or
It
if
does.
it does, it's not,
Yeah, it does.
it's not as
It does. I think it's newer.
right.
Yeah.
And you
But
had,
when
Russ, don't you have to have a certain amount of followers to even access it, like 1,000 followers or something?
You could. I don't know. I've never tried.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the thing with it is like if your audience, if you're the people you have on your list, right, your followers, like you said, Russ, if they don't know that you're going to be promoting some sort of offer, it's going to blow a lot of people away, and in a bad way, and they're just going to be like, hey, I don't know who this dude is, and you're not going to make any sales. That's just
And you might be building the wrong audience too if you're not.
Right.
Yeah.
If your plans to monetize, you need an audience that's used to that kind of thing.
Right. You obviously you want the right followers. Huh?
Right.
So
then when it comes to growing on Twitter, like talk a little bit about that, because a lot of people would think that, growing 11,000 followers in, less than 2 years, right? 16 months ish. That seems like a pretty unimaginable feat, right? There's so many people out there that have probably been on Twitter for years and barely have a few hundred followers. Yeah. Kyle. And so like, how does one get into building a following on Twitter?
Well, from the beginning, everyone just kept telling me, obviously you need to post. You need to post every day. There's so many different theories. Some people say post 3 or 4. Some people say post 20.
Sure.
I feel like you should post more and engage less the bigger your following gets.
Sure.
In the beginning, you want to post probably 3 to 5 times a day, and then the more you can engage with other accounts and add value, not just say that was great or great tweet or thanks. If you can add something to their post that's not exactly what they said, then people see it, and they'll. That's the best way to grow, is to engage with others.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some people watching. We got Civil from Saskatoon.
Oh, cool.
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Say that 10 times fast. So we love Civil. She's usually one of our normal supporters.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I still feel like I'm the same account I was when I had 1,000 followers or whatever. It doesn't seem different to me. There's another guy on Twitter he started a couple months earlier than me, and he's at 165,000 followers.
Yeah, so, he's a big time account.
Pretty sure he's got to figure it out.
Yeah.
So you wonder.
I feel like that guy posts every hour on the hour.
He posts 20 a day.
Yeah.
And
it's nuts.
I had a call with him once. He posts 20 a day, and he has for every single day for almost 2 years now. And so that's worth knowing. But I mean, that's a lot of content.
Is consistency. Like that's a
lot
common theme.
See, he posts on the hour every hour. So people that know that look for him, or they have their notifications set, and they want a piece of him, right? So they engage. But anyway, that's how you grow. You gotta. I mean, you want to have in our book we talk about how you want to have a good profile, you want to have a good bio, and that's where you find the right followers. That's where you tell people this is what I talk about, right? Mm-hmm. If you all you talk about is stocks, but you have on there that you're in nutrition, then people don't understand that. They'll get confused.
Right.
So, you need to have that. You need to engage. You need to post. It's all consistency. And a lot of people, the bigger their following count just means that they just have more time to spend on Twitter. But there's techniques, and and you want to learn them if you're going to try to grow. Obviously,
sure.
you want to grow. If you want to sell, you need, the more followers you have, the more opportunity you have. So,
yeah. So you hinted a little bit right there. You said you hinted towards the book, and so we know we had Jeffrey on, Young Toy King, on a little bit ago, and so we had him on before, and then now we've got you on, Build Big Money 1 on Twitter. And so you've got this book that you guys launched called the Twitter Business Blueprint. So let's go into that a little bit, and what kind of, leading up to the book, what did it take to really get that together? How did you guys' launch go, and then how's it going now?
Oh, sure. So the book is a little over a month old, I would say. Jeffrey and I, great. I've known him for a little over a year. Never met him in person, obviously, but we've been talking like every single day on Twitter for about a year, and he's my best buddy. And we keep talking about, what are we going to build? What are we going to build? What kind of product are we going to put out? And finally, I said, all right, we're done. This is it. I know there's a lot of products like it, but they don't answer a lot of the questions that I get on Twitter every day. And him and I had a bunch of calls together and discussed, yes, we get all these same questions that we need to answer. And that's what we do. We try to answer in the book on how to grow your account, and then how to learn affiliate marketing the whole way through. Like, how do you even get an affiliate link? What is an affiliate link? We've got the most basic questions you can think of, we would get every single day, which is fine because people don't know. And you don't get explained the basic questions, when you're just looking. So you got to ask them.
Right.
But anyway, it's
sometimes when you're starting, you don't even know the right questions, the right questions to ask.
Exactly. You have no idea. They're like, people keep talking about affiliate links. What is that? I don't see anything, whatever it is. I get questions still that say, what is affiliate marketing? And that's fine. And it's a big term for selling other people's products. I mean, come on, it's simple, but people try to make things complicated, as you know. But anyway, the book's about how to grow, learn affiliate marketing, and then the last section of the book right now is how to create your own product. Because the way I figure it is, if you could learn how to grow, learn how to sell through affiliate marketing, then you'll decide on what product you want to put out there.
Yep.
And then you'll learn how to sell it correctly. And
that's totally the natural next step, right?
It's kind of like, okay, I'm like my business right now. I'm the manager of this roofing company. Okay, what's my next step? To be the owner. If I choose to be, I need to go be the owner. So, yeah, that's the natural thing.
No doubt.
But anyway, it's what led us up to it is just we always wanted to put our own thing out there, and I'm like, all right, let's just do it. Even though it's a lot like others, there's a lot of others that are like others. So let's just do it. And we did it. And it is the basics right now. It's starting with the basics because I wanted to be able to, and Jeffrey wanted to be able to always add to it, and we'll keep adding to it and keep going, because why not?
It's just adding huge value.
Trying to help people. So
for sure. Yeah. Well, and the cool thing about that too, right? Like you said, you can add to it down the road. You can decide, maybe you do a Blueprints 2.0 or Blueprints Advanced Edition or whatever the case may be.
Right.
You have the opportunity to expand on what you've already done. And I think that's cool.
Josh will write your title for you. He's got those just popping off.
That's how my brain works. I start thinking of like, what is the logical next step? The logical next step is part 2 or part 2.
Well, it's just there to help. And I feel like sometimes people can just come to me with what they feel like is stupid questions. I had a guy come to me, he saw a tweet that said something like Twitter 101. And he DM'd me, he said, when people say 101, what are they referring to? And I was like, oh, this is, I explained to him 101, 102, and he was like, I got it. So, it's like, come to me and ask me questions. I'm not going to be a jerk about it. And I'll
chances
answer
are
all
somebody
my
else has that question, like there really aren't stupid questions. Like shoot, like you could even, who knows how much stuff that I've forgotten that I've learned, what I mean?
Right?
Like, we gotta re-ask. So there's no stupid questions. The only stupid question is the one that you don't ask.
There you go.
Yeah, and I've had trouble with that in the past, and Twitter helps with that.
Isn't that the truth, man? Like, because I wanted to jump into this for a second, but like Twitter and Facebook and all the social media, I think getting into the money side of all those platforms really highlights what community can be for each other, to be able to reach out and create these relationships and the support that you get from one another. Is that there's this like thing in society these days that says you need to do this thing on your own, independent, whatever. Which that's all
exactly.
just BS.
That's what they teach in school. You don't get to take a test with your buddies in school,
right?
But in life, you want your buddies to help you. You want to help your buddies. Yep. But in school, no help.
Yeah, and the community part, that's what's so cool about the relationship that you built with Jeff. The relationship that it just completely mirrors the relationship that Josh and I have. I've never met Josh in person either. And here we are with this podcast on the 27th episode.
Yep, 27th episode.
That's what we decided to build together. Because we created this online connection through affiliate marketing, right? And you just don't know where the path's going to take you. It's wild.
Yeah, it is wild. It's great. It's good to build these. I mean, I've got friends here that I don't talk to every day. I talk to Jeffrey every day.
Yeah.
You guys talk every day, I'm sure of it.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been, and even more recently too. And part of that is because as things grow and evolve, just like you and Jeffrey, you guys, you met, you started talking, you started working together. And I'm sure right away, you didn't talk every day right away. It was, every here and there. And that relationship, as it grew, you started to talk more and more. And that's kind of how Kyle and I have been, right? It's been, we met and we started talking a little bit more, and it started out just talking over comments and sharing gifts back and forth and memes. And then
he tried to hold my hand. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was. But it was one of those things where as that relationship grew, so did our communication.
Yeah.
And that's something to Kyle's point is, and you made the point too, Russ, is I think the people way in the back need to hear this, is that when you get into these online communities, those relationships continue to get nurtured because you're always around those people. Right. You're always in their face. They're in your face. You're always seeing their posts. You're commenting back and forth. And how many times in real life do we want that? But the planning and the time it takes to be able to get in someone's vicinity like that versus you pop on your phone real quick, you see your buddy message something, you message them back or you comment on their post or whatever, and you've immediately created that connection. You've hit that dopamine drip of that friendship, and you just continue building that. It's a whole nother world that I think a lot of people need to get into.
Yeah, I think so too. And for the right reasons, obviously you can get onto social media
for bad reasons.
Yeah. Get into some echo chambers that you probably shouldn't be in.
Yeah.
But I equate it to like team sports though. Like you're in the trenches with these guys, and when a team is formed, at first, you don't know everybody. I mean, but you have a common goal, a common cause, a common direction or rope that you're pulling on, right? And then as you continue to battle it out and you become kind of a little battle weary, like they become your brother. They become your brother, and you guys are you create the relationships, but it goes even deeper than that almost. Any athlete or team sport person, I think, can kind of understand what I'm talking about, wherein you just develop those next level relationships because you're in the trenches with those guys.
Yeah, and you've got their back no matter what. Why?
Yeah.
Because they're on your team.
Yeah.
And the other guys aren't.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And you become their biggest fan. You want them to succeed almost more than you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, if anyone's listening, try to get Jeffrey to 5,000 followers. We need to get him there. Tomorrow.
He's been on a run, man. He's getting up.
He's killing it. He's about to explode. That's for sure. So
yeah. And for those of you that are watching live or watching the replay, Young Toy King is Jeffrey's account. So, Russ and Jeffrey, they're great buddies, and so anybody who doesn't follow Young Toy King on Twitter, go ahead and go give him a follow, and let's get that brother to 5,000 followers and beyond.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Of course. So
yeah, he's my best buddy. So I'll do
awesome.
whatever. I'll do whatever for him.
Right.
So, even though he's a long ways away, but it's okay.
That's the beauty of it, though, is that it doesn't. Kyle and I we're not as far away as you and Jeffrey are, but we're still a 10-hour drive from each other, or a few hour flight.
Far enough that you haven't met in person, so it's the same. Exactly.
So going back to growing your account, stuff like that. Obviously doing that takes time. Like you said, it's not easy. It's some of the strategies are simple, but it takes the work ethic and the consistency to put them in place. And you touched on, it's kind of cool because all these things we're talking about kind of work together, because you're talking about your son being in baseball, and we're equating obviously a lot of the communities online being, kind of like team sports. And I know like Kyle's kids are in hockey. So all that kind of comes together. So let's talk about that for a minute. I mean, your son's in baseball. You obviously already said that you want to be able to be to all of his games and as much as possible. So how does that balance together, right? I mean, you've got a day job still that you're managing this roofing company. You're trying to build a Twitter following. You just released this book. I mean, there's got to be something there that you've done, or some way you've been able to manage that and balance that to still be able to be the best dad you can be.
Well, as far as Twitter goes, you can schedule your tweets. You guys know that.
That's true.
Spoiler alert.
I don't know if so. Balance. I don't know if there's balance, man. No matter what happens, if my boy needs something, he's gonna get it. Period. Yep. So, is there balance? I don't know. Really. Because he's gonna, no matter what, he comes first, period. That's all there is to it. So it's tough. I guess it's tough to balance. I'll take Twitter as far as I can when I can. That's all it is. If I need to do something for my boy, then my job is second and Twitter is third. So that's how that goes. Obviously, when he's at school, I can do my job. I can do a little bit of Twitter. My job isn't the biggest time my job takes is driving. So
I can see that.
Driving. And
site to site.
Yeah. Other than that, you get to the site, you check everything. I'm not the guy up there on the roof doing the work. It's a lot of the times it's like watching paint dry. Like my crews know what they're doing. The only reason I'm there is to get them something if they need something,
Sure.
So yeah,
I think that's what's pretty cool about Twitter, though, is you can fit in a tweet in between whatever you're doing at your day job, or maybe if you're at your kid's practice, you can drop a tweet or a reply in 30 seconds. Exactly. And so it makes that platform makes it really easy to be able to just kind of squeeze it in as part of your day along the way.
Yeah, which is perfect for me. When things got busy last summer, I would always think, okay, I'll spend 10 minutes every couple hours on Twitter. I can afford that while I'm at work, right? And yeah, so if that would just keep the consistency going, and because well, you'll notice if you start being consistent every day, and then one day you just kind of quit, you'll be like, huh, yeah, I got a lot less followers, and then it's hard to pick it back up. You have to get the ball rolling again. So
interesting.
It's all about consistency, just like anything, disciplines, consistency. But writing the book, every day I would just try to get a few more pages in until we had it done, and now it's time to do that all again and start building onto it some more. So
for sure. So how long did it take you to actually get the book finished from when you started putting it together and then got it actually all polished and ready to be launched?
Okay, so on paper, probably 2 months.
Okay.
In my mind, in Jeffrey's mind, 8 months.
That's fair.
So, you always build stuff in your mind pretty much before you.
Yeah, man. That's really great to talk about, because visualizing is a real thing, right? And then you manifested it and you took action, and then when you finally put pen to paper, but you already had the ideas and this whole thing mapped out in your mind.
It all goes back to, like, I guess you could call it fear. Should we write this book because there's so many like it, or there's a few like it, or is it going to be like the rest? Well, you know what? Finally, I just said, who cares? This is what we know. Let's do it.
Yeah, sure. But it won't be, though. It won't be like everything else, because it's in your voice.
Yeah.
It's your perspective. Your perspective is unique.
And we've all seen those books that just don't have much to them. And it was like, man, that's all right. I commend those people for going for it.
For sure.
The $30 PDF that's 3 pages.
Yeah.
Of quadruple spaced.
Got to start somewhere, and then maybe there's a reason why it's not doing well, but figure it out and try again. So
yeah, I will say, I mean, I did take a look at the Twitter Business Blueprint, and I will say that I was impressed that it wasn't just a bunch of white space, that you guys put a lot of effort into it. There's a lot of really good content in there, and I'm between Kyle and I, Kyle's the Twitter guy. He's the one that is up there. I'm there to basically do what I can to help support him as much as I can. But, the strategies in there, I will even go as far as to say that they could be actually applied in a lot of places, right? There could be, and Gesundheit to Kyle.
Hit that mute button.
I saw that. That was a quick. You're like you grabbed it right before they hit. But yeah. So I will have to say, I mean, it's great. There's great information, and you didn't dumb it down, right? Like, you didn't go through and try to make it seem like people like the easy stuff that a lot of marketers should know that you guys put in there. You didn't make it seem like, oh, you should already know this. It was, hey, here's this explanation. Here's this explanation. Here's these things you should know. And I think I want to commend you guys for that, because there's a lot of people out there that won't do that. They won't put the basics in. They think that everybody should know the basics, and they want to sell these high level advanced courses. And it's like, you got to start somewhere, and you got to build yourself up from that. And so, yeah, I think anybody who's even thinking about getting involved in Twitter business at all, or what I've heard a lot of people call it is money Twitter. But if you want to get involved in that, the Twitter Business Blueprint, I would say, is probably one of the best I've seen personally that's been around there that actually has good information in it.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
We base it off of, okay, what are the questions we get almost every day? Let's answer them. What a better way to try to cater to your audience.
Well, that's the best way to build something. How many questions do I get of this one? Well, add it up. Okay, that's going to be my first thing.
Right.
Like you're solving people's pain, and if you get that consistent pain from multiple people, that's a business idea.
Right.
Exactly.
So
that's what building a business is all about, right? We're solving problems.
Exactly.
We're problem solvers. That's what being an entrepreneur is what is it? I forget what the actual definition is, but it's along the lines of like, we spend unnecessary amounts of money doing crazy things to solve people's problems. Basically what being an entrepreneur is like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. I mean, it's fun to help people. You get excited when you see you really help someone.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody listening to this, I would say if you're not getting excited about helping people as an entrepreneur, then you probably need to take a good look at yourself and decide if entrepreneurship is really for you. Because yes, you can make a lot of money as an entrepreneur. You can make a lot of money on Twitter. You can make a lot of money in any online business. But without that passion, like, what is there, right? I mean, you make the money and then what? Then you just have a bunch of money and you don't really have any positive.
Let's be honest. You're probably not making a whole bunch of money.
That's true. Let's be real. If you're not helping people, you're not really making money, but there are those oddballs out there that, they do make some money just blasting links everywhere and just, they go and swipe everybody else's tweets and make it their own. And, those are the ones that aren't going to last.
No, they won't last long term. That's for sure. And entrepreneurship isn't for everyone.
No, it's not.
It's okay.
And that's okay. That's okay. There's plenty of other ways to make money.
Yeah.
Like you go hang out in the stock market for a little bit. That's not necessarily entrepreneurship, but you can make money there.
Right.
Go do it in crypto.
Yep.
It's all good.
Exactly. So,
what is Civil hate getting on comments?
I'm guessing that's the links, right? Or getting people sending links
all over.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best, right? Like you put out your own content, right? And then people comment.
Yeah, they comment with their own
stuff. You're like, good luck, man.
I just ignore. Sometimes I like them. Like I'll give them a like. Like one guy wrote something the other day. I just built this website and I have. Here's my product. It's motivational, and I just gave him a like. I posted it under my tweet. So I'm like, whatever. I'll give him a like for that. He doesn't know any better. It's okay, but what are you gonna do?
Right. Yeah.
The bigger your account gets, the more you get like that. The bigger your account gets, the more people you get that disagree with you, and it's fun to just ignore and move on.
Yep. 100%. I think a lot of the fun stuff with that too is when you start getting the people that like the ones that I get a kick out of are the ones that's like, like they actually write something because they comment about what you said and then they go, that's why I use so-and-so for my Forex stuff, or that's why I use so-and-so for my crypto investments. And they've given me 100 times of my return. I trust them with my money. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Whoever's listening, be careful the advice you take, especially on all that stuff. Be careful. There's some big influencers out there that can sway that stuff. And, they don't have to be licensed to be a big influencer on Twitter. So be careful.
Yep. So, I mean, honestly, I am really... what kind of word am I looking for? I'm really proud of you guys for sticking through what you've gone through, you and Jeffrey, putting all the ideas down onto paper, taking a couple months to polish it up, getting it launched. And, I think that right there, the number one thing that people don't do with their ideas is they don't put them into fruition. they don't start, right? They just leave it as an idea up there. They get an analysis paralysis, and they, start getting into this stagnation because they're so caught up on thinking about it, and they don't actually launch. But you guys actually launched, and I know that you guys had a few people, I know like myself and Kyle included, that you gave the blueprint to, so we could review it and see what it's like. But tell us a little bit about how that launch went. I mean, you guys, sounds like it went pretty well for being a launch, that you actually made some sales and things kind of went well. So tell us about kind of that process and how that went for you.
Oh yeah, it went really well. Right when we launched it, people were really excited about it. We got quite a few sales out of it. It was launched at a discount, of course. Yep. And so then all of a sudden we had tons of people come to us that wanted to be the affiliates because they bought it, and that was great. So, that was a little learning for me too, to figure out how to do that and get them all on Gumroad. But then of course, we said, okay, launch is over. Here's the full price. It's not going to be one of those things that's on sale all the time. Right. And sales slowed down, but we still get them. We're still getting sales. I know we're going to get more sales as the winter gets colder. Yep. People will come inside. You guys know how online sales go. What is it? It's from like October to February, right? That's the best time for online sales.
Basically, yeah. I mean, like right around like the week before Halloween, and then that'll last until basically right after Valentine's Day. And then people start kind of preparing for springtime and things like that. But that's how it was for me last year, at least. I mean, sales were great for the winter time, and then all of a sudden you get to springtime and it slows down. But that's the thing though, too, is, if you get that influence, and I think, this is something that I know you mentioned before we got on live here, is, talking about starting to build that momentum through the wintertime. So that way, when you get into springtime, that momentum doesn't stop, right? You still continue to bring that stuff in, but and I think you said earlier too, before we got on live, you even made a sale today, right?
Yeah. We had one today. Yep.
That's awesome.
We have, it depends. Some days you have 2 or 3, some days you don't have any. It depends. It probably depends on when people get paid. I don't know.
Could be.
That's definitely a factor.
Yep.
Seems like a lot of sales happen on Fridays. A lot of, you'll see a lot where a lot of people get paid on Fridays, I guess, because, even my eBay jumps on Fridays. So,
yeah.
But,
well, that's pretty typical, right? You get like the 1st, the 15th, and Fridays. Those are usually the days that are like the big days for sales a lot. So, well, that's awesome, dude. Like I'm really happy to hear. I know when Jeffrey was on with us, a few weeks back, he mentioned that was kind of coming up in the time frame. And so it's nice to see that, you guys were able to follow through with that. You were able to get that put out there, and the launch was great. You guys are making some sales, you're making some impact, you're changing lives, you're helping people start their businesses. And the fact that people wanted to be affiliates, I think that alone is like a huge pat on the back for you guys, that people want to promote your product.
Yeah, that was really exciting when people would DM me and, how do I let me be an affiliate? I'm like, yeah, did you read the book? That means all you have to do is give me your email, let's go.
Right.
So, yeah, it's fun. And it's really cool to see your own product all of a sudden show up on your timeline, or you're tagged in it and they're trying to promote it.
Absolutely.
Hey, we're going to drop that product in the link right below here on this video is rendered.
That's cool. I love it.
When the video's done, for anybody who's watching to this point, it's going to be right down below. And so on our Facebook profiles, you'll find it in the comments. On YouTube, you'll find it in the description. It'll actually be the first link in the description is the Twitter Business Blueprint. And so we want to make sure that you guys are getting all the love you possibly can on this, because you've done a great job showing people that you don't have to be these big time gurus to actually put out something worth,
or even a full-time online marketer,
right?
Or even a real good writer. I mean, I'm not that good of a writer. It's not my favorite thing to do. That's why Twitter's perfect, right? So
Yeah. I mean, you're being a little humble, Russ. I read the book and that came across. I mean, you between you and Jeff, I will tell you that I've seen some pretty terrible books in my time of all the different marketers, and I could follow along. It wasn't cringy, You guys had a really good flow to it, so give yourself a little bit of credit.
Fault. That's Jeff's fault.
It
is. I mean, I'd send him like a page, and he'd be like, "This is what we want to do," and I'd be like, "Wow, that was much better,"
And that's why you're a team.
Yeah, he's a good teammate. That's for sure. He's the hype man.
There you go. Yeah,
he is a hype man. That is for sure.
Yeah,
he'll come over the top rope for you too.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, and I would do the same for him. You guys,
yes, sir.
So.
Yep. Absolutely.
We won't get into that one.
No, we won't. We won't get into the nitty-gritty details. We'll let you guys save that for yourselves. But for what we know, and obviously we know a little bit about your guys's, your relationship and the things that you guys have been through together, and just the stuff that each of you have had in your life, and not getting into details, but it's really cool to see that you guys have been able to come together, work as a team, share your lives with each other. Share the things that you guys are struggling with, but also your wins, and just being able to, have that professionalism, but also be able to have fun at the same time. I think that's awesome.
For people that don't have that need to get that, because if you're on Twitter, and I don't know about the rest, I'm sure they're the same. You have it. You're gonna feel all alone sometimes. There'll be times when you feel all alone. So you gotta have the best buddy. You gotta have him. So do it, whoever you are. Find your best buddy.
No, that's for sure. They help keep you going. It becomes a part of your why too. Really, you don't want to let that other guy down.
Oh yeah. Big time. You're right.
For sure. So the last thing here, as we're getting kind of wrapping up towards the end, and honestly, I'll just say right away, Russ, it's been a pleasure having you on. It's been amazing to have you talk about your journey, and just the way you're so humble about what it is that you're doing. And I mean, a lot of people would even go as far as to say is that you've got this kind of grace about you that, that you're going in the right direction, but you're not throwing yourself into the wolves, right? You're not throwing yourself so far into it that you're getting overwhelmed and overworked.
Yeah, you're not in a hurry.
Yeah, I'm also not as young as all these guys on here. So
that's true.
I have a little bit of experience. Let's call it wisdom.
There you go. Wisdom. So what would you say to those young guys, or even anybody who's young, mid, old, doesn't matter, they want to start out on their Twitter business, they want to get going. Obviously, Twitter Business Blueprint is the way to start, but what's a big tip or aha moment or some nugget that you have that is like the thing you could tell someone who wants to get started?
The biggest problem that people have is they don't post, or they're not writing a book, and it's because they're scared. They're scared. They're scared to throw out a post. They're scared to write the book. And
can I add something to that? I think they're also scared to make a relationship, to create a relationship.
They could be. That could be. Yeah. I mean, some people's relationships have gone south quick, and it's hard to jump back into one, right? Yeah. Especially if it's like a business relationship or what have you. But just don't be afraid. If something pops into your head that you think is going to be is what you want to say on Twitter, just say it. Let your audience decide if it's okay or not. Just go. And then, if
it sucks, you can always delete it.
Yeah, and if it sucks, or if someone makes a rude comment, don't let them jump on your back.
Yeah.
You don't need to carry them to the next wherever you're going.
For sure.
It's just like in sales. If you can't get over a little rejection, you'll never make it in sales. So. Yeah.
And you're not supposed to be an expert day one.
No,
not at all. I know I'm not an expert.
Not even day 100. Not day 464,
Right.
whatever it is. It takes time. It's a journey. It's a journey.
And the other piece of advice is I answer all my DMs. People ask me for money. I answer my DMs. I'm not afraid to tell them, no, I don't. I don't have money to give you. I'm sorry. And they're always like, wow, you replied? Well, yeah, I replied because I know you're struggling, but I'm sorry. I don't. If your first DM to me is give me some money, I'm sorry, I don't have any. So, but I'm going to tell you that, and that's okay. So,
yeah. Well, that's a good piece of advice too there, right? It's not just about engaging with people that engage on your posts or engaging with other posts, but it's engaging with the people that maybe saw your post and didn't want to publicly say something, but they privately sent you something and said, hey, I've got an opinion, or I've got a comment, or I've got a question. And leaving them hanging is the worst thing that you can do as any business, whether you're online, whether you're brick and mortar. I mean, I'm sure it'd be the same for you as a manager, right? As a roofing company. If someone sent you an email or sent you a text or something like that and said, hey, I got a question about such and such deal, if you left them hanging, that's bad for business.
Oh yeah.
So you got to take those kinds of mentalities and put that into what you're doing online.
Yeah. And, I've met some pretty cool people that I replied to their DM. They're not buyers of our book. They're not in affiliate marketing or something, but they needed some help with something. There's a guy who he DM'd me. I can't remember how it started, but basically I helped him get over the fear of contacting record labels. And he's already met with 2 of them.
Nice.
Oh, that's amazing.
Since I helped him, he basically the way you say, just do it, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't remember what all I said, but somehow whatever I said gave him the confidence to go to the record labels. And now he's meeting with 2 of them. That's crazy.
See, that right there, that's servitude at its best right there. You didn't have to answer that guy's question. You didn't have to help him out. There was nothing. He didn't pay you. He didn't buy your book. But you decided, you know what? I'm going to help this dude because he's obviously struggling. And now he's having a breakthrough. And okay, so let me ask you this. How does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, it's crazy. It's cool. And now, get a DM from him every once in a while. Hey, whatever update. I always tell him, please keep me updated, and it's really cool to see someone decide to do something. I think he's 18 years old, that's
cool.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just the power too of putting your thoughts out there. Put it out there. You don't know who's listening, who's watching, who's going to check it out later, but you had something to say and it connected with somebody and it made an impact. Right. And that's at the end of the day, that's what all this is about, is being able to create an impact to help people better their lives.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why they're here. They need help and they want to help people. Yeah. Obviously, I need help. And I'll find it.
Yeah.
I'll find it wherever I can.
I will say this, that if there's anybody out there in the world who thinks that they don't need help, they are seriously kidding themselves, and they probably need more help because of that thought.
Yeah, for sure.
So, well, awesome. I'll put this back up here. So guys, Twitter Business Blueprint, that's Russ and Jeffrey. So you guys remember Young Toy King. Jeffrey is, go follow Young Toy King. We need to get him over 5K. Then we got Build Big Money 1. That's Russ's account on Twitter. And then make sure you guys go check out their Twitter Business Blueprint.
Links down below.
Yep, the link will be below. And then just remember, I went through this book myself. And if you guys are even curious about some of the basic questions that come up about building a business on Twitter, that's where they're going to be answered. Not these other guys that are trying to make these big, huge courses. Just the simple explanations, the simple strategies that can help you grow a Twitter account. And I think it's awesome. Kyle, anything else you got?
Man, like and subscribe for our YouTube page.
Yeah.
But before that, no, just Jeff, or I called you Jeff. Good Lord, Russ.
It's all right.
It's going on 10 o'clock, right? It's bedtime.
Yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to say thanks so much for coming on here with us. Thanks so much for engaging with me and helping me grow my account over there.
Of course.
Everything that you're saying is backed up by what you do, and that's why I love you, man. Like you are the epitome of giving first.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I have no reason not to, and no reason to say something that's not true. There's no reason. So
Right. Yeah. So any last thoughts from you, Russ? Anything that you want to add on everything that we've already gone over?
Nothing for me. I'd love to tell whoever, if anybody's watching this that hasn't watched your previous videos, go back and watch them. You'll love it. Especially the bloopers ones. Those are fun. These guys are afraid to show, hey, we started somewhere too, It's great. Yep. I love it.
And there's more coming, guys. We've got more clips that are going to be broken out, and Russ, I appreciate that. From the bottom of my heart, man.
Of course.
You
guys put in a lot of work.
It's not easy. I mean, and the cool thing too is, shameless plug here for you guys. We got a couple really cool interviews coming up here in the next couple episodes. The next one is a really cool one too. But here's what I love about this, right? Even all the big people that we've gotten on here, we've seen people that are, $1 million owners that have sent out millions of dollars in commissions. We've got people on here that have, written books and all this stuff. And everybody to us comes at the same level. It's not about how much you've done or how much money you've made or what influence you have. It's what are you doing for other people? And the reason why we bring people on here is because we find, and yes, we are trying to showcase a lot more dads, because I think us dads don't get enough credit about how much we put into not just providing for our families, but also being able to be there for our kids. And we don't do this stuff because we just woke up one day and said, I want to go have fun and build a business on Twitter. Or, I want to go start a podcast. We figured out what we're passionate about, and we're using that passion to make a positive impact in the world. And we see you doing that. We're doing that ourselves, and that's why we have you on. And so we appreciate you taking your time, because we know that your audience can get value from this. Our audience can get value from this. And, it's going to help everybody in the long run. That's perfect. Keep it running, guys. It's awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks again for your time, Kyle. I think this was another amazing interview in the books, and I'm excited that we get to keep doing things like this. And to everybody else in podcast and YouTube land, thank you so much for your guys' support. Subscribe, follow, share these with your friends. Let everybody know that we're here. And if anybody ever wants to be showcased on our show, reach out. You can actually just hit us up right up on YouTube, or you can find Kyle or I on Twitter or Facebook, and let us know. We'd love to have you on. So
couldn't have said it better, man.
What's that?
Take it easy.
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.